welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'm kind of sticking with the different style of content and kind of, straying away from the usual Hypixel Skywars kind of stuff, just to kind of give you guys a break from that, because I'm trying to make my channel a little bit more diverse. So yeah, today we're going to be making a TNT cannon, just a quick little tutorial, and before we get started, sign in the background, maybe ring a bell, kinda give you a little hint at what you should be doing right now. So most of you guys are going to be pretty familiar with the concept of a TNT cannon. If you're not, essentially, it's basically just launching TNT. That's kind of what it just sounds like. But essentially, the very basic version of this is to light this and then light. Oh, that didn't work out. I thought it would. Okay, that wasn't a good example. Hang on. Okay, so if you put a TNT there, put two buttons down, you light this one, wait a bit, light this one, that one is gonna go off, and then it kind of launches the other one a couple blocks, as you can see, kind of has that same effect. It kind of just pushes the TNT along. Now, that's the, most bare bones version of a TNT cannon that I can think of. So what we're going to do today is make a more complicated one that will work a lot more effectively than just two craters that just so happen to be next to each other. So the first material that we're going to need is just basically any random block that's easy to get a lot of. I'm going to be using stone for the video, but you can probably use any other block. Other than gravity blocks and stuff that'll, fall down. But anyway, that's the base material that we're going to be using for most of the construction. And then if you hop over into the redstone section, we're not going to need TNT yet because we don't need to fill up the dispensers, immediately. So we're going to get some dispensers, as I just said, some redstone repeater, comparator, a button, of course, some water to carry the TNT down the stream, and then we're also going to need some slabs of any kind, once again. Just going to use stone ones, because I can, so it's kind of up to you what materials you use. Okay, so we're going to start out here by making a 12 block line here, and then going out 7 from this block, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then just continue back to the 12 block marker, and then just fill this in. This is going to be our base platform to build the rest of the cannon on. Alright, so now that we're done making the foundation for the cannon, we're going to put in the sort of dispenser configuration, if you will. So what we're going to do is put down 2 dispensers right here, and leave a 1 block gap in between them, and do 2 that are facing each other, so it should just look like that. Then we can do 1 more at the back there, and just crouch and place the dispensers on top of each other, just like so. So basically, I'll kind of explain what part of the cannon is which. So basically, right now we're constructing the power part of the cannon, and the other part that'll be up here is called the shot part of the cannon. So essentially, what these dispensers are doing is, obviously dispensing TNT, but what's going to happen is the TNT is going to land right about in these 2 blocks. It's going to travel down this little water stream here. So as you can see, if I just get some random blocks and drop them in there, see how they travel down? That's basically the same thing that the TNT is going to do, and then it'll get stopped by a slab, and then it'll propel the shot part of the cannon. So by adding more dispensers in a line like here, that adds more TNT to the power part of the cannon, which extends the range. But we're just going to stick with a 2x2 and then 1 at the back for now. So then afterwards, once you're done putting up the power part of the cannon, you're going to want to go out 3 blocks on either side with stone. So you can kind of see it taking shape now a little bit. Then you're going to want to place a 4th block and then go back 2, so that should be a 3 block section, and then add 1 more layer to that. And then you do the same thing on the other side, and this is the general shape that you should get. And because I'm freestyling this build, I didn't really plan this out earlier, we're going to need to add another 2 blocks on the long side of it, just to give it a little extra room. So now that you've added another layer on either side of the cannon, it should just be looking a little bit more symmetric, and it gives us more room for what we're going to do in a little bit. So next we're going to put down the shot part of the cannon. So we're going to put a 2x2 of dispensers down here, and then another 2 just like so. If you want to, you can just put some slabs on top of there. It's just something I like to do. It's a little bit decorative, I guess. And now we're going to get to part of the wiring, although, okay, yeah, so we need to put in some slabs here first. So place in the slabs so that way they cover this bottom part of where the dispensers will drop the TNT, and then you're going to want to go out 3 extra blocks so that way it hangs off just 1 block over the platform. And while we're at it, we can make the little barrel part of the cannon. So you're going to want to place a slab on the bottom part of the dispenser, and basically, and you also want to do the same thing for the top ones here. But basically what this will do is ensure that the TNT doesn't get scattered and that it goes in a straight line and that hits its target, instead of just scattering around and maybe bouncing back and hitting the actual cannon. It also ensures that the TNT doesn't fly vertical too much. It kind of keeps it in the direction that it's pointing, because sometimes TNT will end up there and not where you want it to go, so that's just a good thing to do. So now when we're here at the back of the cannon, we're going to want to add in a little button. I'm just going to do it on this little extended bit of the platform. If you want to, you can just put it right there on the side, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to do it this way. Then you're going to want to have 2 redstone outputs going this way, and 1 heading straight for the cannon. And then you want to put a repeater facing into these 2 dispensers. And basically, by placing down a repeater right next to the block, it'll power both of them, so you don't have to worry about doing some other like janky redstone lining like that. You can just place down a repeater and call it a day. And then after that, we're going to want to place another one facing into these 2, which will power those, and then link this up to the sort of central part of it. And then we're going to want to go out 2 blocks with the redstone dust, and then put in 1 repeater facing into that side, so that way it'll power these 2. And then obviously do the same on this side as well. So now the entire shot portion of the cannon is all powered up. You can place in the water here once you're done constructing like the main body of the cannon. And now we're going to add in the delay for the shot part of the cannon. So essentially what the delay does is it times the shot part of the cannon so that way it doesn't explode before it leaves the cannon. Otherwise this whole thing would just blow up. So if you saw what I did earlier with those craters, I lit the power part of the TNT first, and that like cooked for a little bit, and then I lit the shot part of it, and so that's why it gets launched and then it explodes, so it doesn't blow up the whole contraption. So the way that we add delay in an automated way is by just placing down repeaters. So you're going to want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks out from this little end redstone bit, then place in a comparator and click it, so that way it goes into subtract mode, and then you're going to want to wire some redstone around it, and then go up here, just like so, and then connect it to those 2 repeaters, which will power the shot part of the cannon. So the whole configuration should sort of look like this. And then we can add in delay. It's kind of up to you to tweak the cannon a little bit, but normally I like to start out with like just about as much delay as possible. So you're going to want to max out all the repeaters. Obviously I'll test it to see if it works, you know, with the timings and everything, but we're going to need to go out another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 blocks out this way, do another repeater, put it into subtract mode, do the same little wraparound part, then go up onto there, and another 2 repeaters. So that's the main bulk of the cannon all completed. And now if you press the button, you can kind of see how the mechanism works. So the power part of the cannon gets powered immediately and dispenses the TNT, and then later on you can see the redstone signal travel through the repeaters into the comparator and in the shot part of it. So basically what the comparator does is it creates a sort of clock that lasts for the duration of the redstone pulse that goes through it. So basically what this does is it allows us to have more shot part of the, or more TNT in the shot part of the cannon without having to have even more of these dispensers. You can do the same thing for the power part of it, but just for simplicity's sake, I just went with this version. Now that you're done constructing the hardware part of the cannon, all we need to do now is just load it up with TNT. Just a quick tip for when you're loading up the cannon, you don't actually need that much TNT, just put about a stack each in these dispensers and you should be just fine. You can always refill it later, so just in case the cannon fails and blows up, you just want to make sure that you don't have to go through a tedious process of refilling every single dispenser. Another tip when loading up the cannon, you might want to put a little bit more in the shot part of it, because obviously it's going to get used up quicker as there's more being dispensed, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do a stack on each part of it. So now that it's all loaded up, we're ready to do a little test fire. So this is the moment of truth. Let's see. Does it work? Oh, wow, okay. Well, okay, so, oh no. Okay, so that's what happens when you don't have enough power. So, hopefully you didn't already launch the TNT cannon. As you can see, some of the TNT went pretty far and made these craters here. But, yeah, no, a lot of the TNT got dangerously close to the cannon, so you just kind of need to be careful. So I'm gonna repair part of the cannon here, or part of the barrel of the cannon. But the way that we can fix this pretty easily, is to just remove part of the barrel. We could add more power that would, like, solve it, but just for simplicity's sake and just how easy it is, I'm just gonna remove a little bit of the barrel. And time for test number 2. Let's see if this goes any better. Oh, yep, that's a lot more effective. Still kind of blew up part of the cannon. That's not so good. Thank God it only got like the underbelly part of it and not actually the main components of it. So normally I would have everything organized and all set up, but I'm kind of freestyling a little bit in this video. I guess you could kind of use that term, but yeah, we're gonna need to reconfigure the cannon, and that water just took out a bunch of redstone. Okay, that's great. Okay, if I can get this dispenser to be placed properly, that would be amazing. Can I? Okay, there we go. I swear, this is the most difficult thing in Minecraft. Forget defeating the Ender Dragon. Placing dispensers correctly is... oh, it's a challenge. You need to get an achievement every time you do that. I'm just now discovering a pretty vital issue. We forgot to set the delay, or not we, but I forgot to set the delay for the second part of the shot of the cannon. Oh god, that could have been pretty dangerous. But yeah, anyway, that's all set up now. And now we can just hook up the redstone lining to the other set of dispensers and just grab a little bit more TNT here. Alright, now that this is the second revision of the cannon, we can give it another test fire here. Alright, let's see how this goes. There we go. See, look at that. Much, much better. Oh, wow. This is such a powerful cannon because you can pack in so much TNT into just one payload. And you can see the range is pretty impressive. Like, look at this. There are craters all the way out here. And I've built some where they go even further than this. But this is... here, let's do an actual scientific test. Okay, so right about here, we're about 0, actually, on the X value. I'm just gonna kind of skip that crater, because there are some inconsistencies, and it's just better statistically, or there's a higher chance of it landing here than there. So, just for science sake, I'm gonna start here. So, if we fly all the way over to the cannon, let's see, here, that is 130 blocks or so from the actual barrel of the cannon, which is, it's pretty good. It's not super impressive. I've made cannons that have, you know, like 1,000 block range or something, but, you know, for just a quick little I don't know, 5-6 minute tutorial, then, yeah, it's pretty good. That's spooky. I hate the cave noises. I wish you could turn them off. And just for fun, what I think I'm gonna do is add as much power into this as I can and just see how far we can get that piece of TNT to fly. So I'm gonna go off camera and then I'll cut back to the footage when I'm done with it. Oh, yep. It blew up.